Congresswoman Harriet Hageman of Wyoming joins us now with an update. Congresswoman, thank you so much for your time today. So what are some of your biggest discrepancies with this mandate?
Well, first of all, that it's a mandate in the first place. The USDA and APHIS do not have the legal authority to require our cattle and bison producers to use a particular kind of eartag. But more importantly than that, this is about control. All you have to do is look at Ireland, and in early 2022, Ireland adopted an EID mandate. By August of 2023, they issued a cull order that they needed to slaughter as many as 41,000 head of cattle, not because of a disease outbreak, which is why they say that they need the EID and the electronic monitoring, but because of global warming. Just 2 weeks ago, Denmark is now going to be imposing a $100 a head carbon tax or CO2 tax on cattle in that country. And they also have an EID mandate. The only way that they can impose these kinds of requirements or mandates is if they know how many cattle there are, where they are, and exactly who has them. So this is about control, and it's bad policy. We already have a very good traceability program in the United States. We use brands and back tags and ear tags and tattoos. We have the safest, highest quality meat in the world. We do not need another mandate. And finally, according to the USDA, a full-blown EID mandate will cost the industry between $1.2 and $1.9 billion, and those are 2013 numbers.
So that's what you're seeing. This is having a very big impact on the ranchers, not just in your state, but the entire country, because there is a financial burden as well.
Well, according to the USDA, this particular rule covers approximately 11% of the cattle and bison industry, and the cost would be $26 million. Well, that's not even close to the actual cost of the program. In fact, that $26 million is only for the ear tags themselves. It doesn't count the software. It doesn't count the equipment. It doesn't count the readers. It doesn't count the handling cost. And it doesn't include what you have to do to retrofit your operation to be able to use this type of equipment. So that's one of the issues. So even if you take their number at $26.1 million, covering 11% of the industry, then multiply that by 10. According to them, if they were to cover the entire industry, it's $260 million right out of the box just for the ear tags, not for all of the other related equipment that you have to have. The other thing is for it to be a real traceability rule, for you to be able to trace livestock back to the point of origin, you're going to have to have a PIN, a premises identification number. In other words, you're going to have to register your farm and ranching operation with the federal government.
And so you have joined a resolution to block this rule. What all would you like to see?
I'd like to see it defunded entirely. I do not believe that the USDA ought to be focusing on forcing our cattle and bison producers to use this kind of technology. Again, if it's voluntary, if people choose to do it for their own operation, I'm perfectly comfortable with that. But what we're trying to do is force the USDA back into the role that it is actually supposed to be playing, which is addressing the issues that are important to our livestock producers, our ag producers across the board, not imposing mandates like this.
And so what are the next steps with this issue?
Well, we'll bring it to the floor, and we will attempt to pass it out of the House, and then it'll go over to the Senate. In the Senate, I have both Senators Lemus and Barrasso are assisting me with this. And so we're hoping that we can move forward with blocking this rule before it goes into effect.
All right, well, keep us updated on that. Before we go, though, can I ask you if you're keeping an eye on Farm Bill negotiations, and what are your expectations there?
You know, there's not a lot of information that is coming out of the Ag Committee in terms of those negotiations and what's happening. That is set to expire at the end of September. We did do a one-year continuing resolution for the Farm Bill last year. So the finances and the money and the programs are continuing. I anticipate they will continue as the negotiations go on.
All right. Well, there's a lot to keep up with there in D.C. Congresswoman Harriet Hageman, we appreciate your time today.